Welcome to this last minute revision biology class. So in today's video and class, we are going to talk about endocrine system. So this is one of the most examined topic which you will find in your upcoming exam. So make sure you get a paper, a pen so that you write some key points because this is last minute revision. I'm going to help you understand how questions come on endocrine system. We are going to talk about the top 6 hormones which are or top 6 glands which are responsible for what? For production of hormone. You have to understand them because they ask on these 6 glands. So by the end of this video, you will be able to understand what a hormone is, how you can answer essay questions on what. So how to answer essay questions on endocrine system. So for the link to the full video, be sure to inbox me. It's only at 10 kwacha. You get the full endocrine revision video and you also get the revision question. So let's begin. So imagine, so have you ever wondered how you grow, how your body tells you that, oh, this time you are angry, or this time you should grow, this time you should do what? You should do take food, or you are sick. So all those things are known as coordination. That's how your body responds, or that's how your body works effectively to do what? To perform functions. So now, in our video today, we are going to be focusing on the endocrine system. So what is the endocrine system? So whenever we are talking about the endocrine system, just know that this is a system which is made up of ductless gland. So the endocrine system is made up of ductless glands. So that's the first thing which you need to understand on the endocrine system. It is made up of ductless glands, meaning the glands do not have ducts, pipe-like structures which they circulate. They circulate the hormone direct into the blood. Yeah. So now, since we have said they secrete hormone, so our next question now is, what is a hormone? So we say that the endocrine system is responsible for what? For secreting hormone, and it is made up of ductless gland. Yeah. So now, what is a hormone? So whenever you are talking about a hormone, remember that a hormone is a chemical secreted by ductless gland transported by blood, and it has effects on the target organ before being destroyed by the liver. Yeah, so most of you are wondering that the definition for a hormone is long, but mind you, this is when you are writing the essay. I have a sample of a question which said, explain the what? The function of the endocrine system and explain the glands which are responsible. So, how can you make this definition stick? So, we are saying that a hormone is a what? One, you need to know that it's a chemical secreted by what? Ductless glands. How is it transported? It is transported by blood. And it has what? Effect on target organs. Then after it has performed its function, it is destroyed by what? By the liver. So once you know these four things, the definition for a hormone will be simple. Just remember that, a hormone is a chemical secreted by ductus gland, transported by blood, has effect on target organs, then it is destroyed by the liver. So you need to know these things as you are writing your essay, because the examiners will mark these points, because that's the point they are looking for. So now that we have understood the definition of a hormone, we have known what endocrine system is. Now we are going to look at the human endocrine system. What do I mean when I say the human endocrine system? So now we are going to look at the glands which are responsible in humans for producing the hormones which help us, or which help the body communicate with other parts of the body, like telling you that, okay, this situation you need to learn or fight or flight hormones, like that, hormones for anger. Yeah. So now, what are the major hormones which you need to remember for your exam? So these are very, very important hormones. Make sure you write them somewhere. So the human endocrine so the first hormone, and the first important hormone, I'll put it in a different color. So the first important hormone which you need to remember is the pituitary gland, also known as the master gland. So this is the first hormone and important hormone which you need to remember on the endocrine system, the pituitary gland, the master gland. Why are we saying that this is the master gland? Because the pituitary gland is the one which is responsible for stimulating other glands to produce hormones. So this is the master. So this is the one which starts the process of communication, the process of releasing hormone. It tells other parts of your body to produce hormones. Then the second hormone which you need to know is the thyroid gland. So another gland which you need to remember is the thyroid gland. So this thyroid gland is responsible for producing thyroxine. So don't worry, I'll talk a bit details on how you can answer when they ask about these 5 glands in your essay. So make sure you stick through until the end of the video, because I'll be telling you how to answer questions in your section B paper 2 biology, the essay part. That is the very important part where most students make mistakes and it costs them. So make sure you watch this video until the end so that you don't miss out any points. So our second gland which we are saying is the thyroid gland. Then our third gland is known as the pancreas. So remember, the pancreas is also an endocrine gland because it secretes insulin and glucagon. Then another one is the adrenal gland. So another gland which you need to remember here is the adrenal gland. So adrenal gland is also one of the important glands which we are going to discuss in this video. Then the last two, we have the ovary and we also have the testes. So also these two, they produce hormones that we are going to discuss them in the reproduction part. So in this video for endocrine system, I will basically focus on the 4 glands. We'll talk about the pituitary gland, the thyroid, the pancreas, and the adrenal gland. Then the ovaries and the testes will come and revise it in the coming video for revision in what? Reproduction. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out the revision videos, because I'll keep on posting revision videos for each topic in biology to help you prepare in this short period of time. That is why it is called the last minute revision. So don't forget to get the entire video, because the entire video will cover everything you need to know on the endocrine system. So again, the number is below on the screen. You can inbox me and make the payment. I send you the link to the full video so that you don't miss out the what? The explanation and how you can solve essay questions on this video. So for you, so in this demo video where I show you, we are going to discuss the first hormone, which is the pituitary gland. Then the full video will cover all the 3 hormones. And remember, they like asking questions on the pancreas and the adrenal gland. These are the 2 important topics which they like asking. So make sure you buy the full video so that you know what to write when they ask you. Okay, so now let's begin our lesson by discussing what the pituitary gland is. Yeah. Pituitary gland, or also known as the master gland. Yeah, so you are going to understand the pituitary gland like you have never understand it before in just 5 minutes. So make sure you have somewhere to write so that you revise this as you will be writing your paper. This a last minute revision you go through when time is limited. Yeah, so the pituitary gland. So a question can come. So how can a question come on the pituitary gland? So they may ask you, write the function of the pituitary gland. I saw it somewhere. Maybe it's 2022 or somewhere. So the question was, write the function of the pituitary gland. So how can we write? So let me just write it. So write the function of the pituitary gland. So this is how I will teach you the other 3 parts of the endocrine system. We are going to be answering questions in form of explanation so that you know how questions come and you also know how to answer them. So make sure you get the video. So the pituitary gland, we say that it is the master gland. So you start by saying the pituitary gland is the master gland. Why? Because it secretes hormones that stimulates other endocrine gland. Yeah, so meaning this pituitary gland, it is the one which starts the what? The process. It secretes glands. So what are those hormones? Remember, it secretes hormones that stimulate other glands. Yeah. So what are those hormones which are secreted by the pituitary gland? So an easy way which can help you is by knowing the glands. So we know that we have 6 glands. So if you know the glands, which means you will know which hormones will be produced to stimulate the other glands. So for example, we have the thyroid hormone, meaning the pituitary gland should produce what is known as a thyroid stimulating hormone. So the thyroid stimulating hormone is responsible for stimulating the thyroid gland to produce what? The adrenaline, the thyroxine. Then moving on to our second hormone, which is produced by the pituitary gland, is adrenocorticotropic hormone. So we have the adrenocorticotropic hormone. So the word is big, but you can remember this by, we have the first part, which is the adrenal, meaning it is stimulating the what? The adrenal gland to produce what? Adrenaline. Why is it cortical? Meaning it is stimulating the cortex part of the adrenal gland, which produces what? Adrenaline. So the second hormone is what? Adrenocorticotropic hormone. Then we also have a third hormone which is produced by the pituitary gland, which is known as the follicle stimulating hormone. So we have the follicle stimulating hormone. So what is the function of the follicle stimulating hormone? So the follicle stimulating hormone, this hormone stimulates the production of follicles in the ovum, or the formation of follicles in the ovum. Then we have an important hormone in ladies. So this is a very important hormone for ladies or women. So we have a hormone which is known as luteinizing. So this luteinizing hormone is the one which causes ovulation. So this luteinizing hormone causes ovulation. So you have to know this hormone. But don't worry, this hormone will come and discuss them when we are revising the reproduction part of the endocrine system. Yeah. So these are some of the hormone which the pituitary gland produces that stimulates other hormone to produce hormones. So we say that the thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates the what? Stimulates the thyroid. Then we say the adrenocorticotropic hormone stimulates the adrenal gland. Then we say the follicle stimulating hormone stimulates the ovum to form what? Follicles. Then we also have another hormone which stimulates the testes, which is the interstitial tissue cell stimulating hormone. So these are the 5 hormones which you need to know for your multiple choice questions. They can ask you, among these, which of the following is a hormone not produced by the what? By the pituitary gland. So again, if you're writing essays, you can just mention what? 3. The thyroid stimulating hormone, the follicle stimulating hormone, and the luteinizing hormone. Go with something easy to remember. Don't go with something you can't remember. So go with something easy to remember. Now there are 4 important hormones now you need to remember on the pituitary gland. So apart from these 5 you just know their names. That's it, the important part. So these I've told you, just know the names. Or thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates the thyroid, adrenocorticotropic stimulates the adrenal gland, follicle stimulating hormone stimulates the ovum, luteinizing hormone stimulates, causes ovulation. So just know them. But these 4 I'm telling you, know the function of the hormone. Yeah. So let me say the important hormones which they like asking questions on. So the important hormones, we have the first one, which is the antidiuretic hormone. Antidiuretic hormone. Yeah. So this is the first hormone which they like asking about. And most of you can agree with me that you have seen a lot of questions on the antidiuretic hormone. They ask you, write about the function of the antidiuretic hormone. Write how the antidiuretic hormone is responsible in homeostasis.